Collaboration is quite important. Just yesterday, we were listening to a case study by Botswana. I was talking to some of our colleagues from Botswana with regards to, linking up a little bit later on for collaboration so that we can learn on, some of the journey that they have gone. So it's really important, especially when it comes to what you can avoid with regards to challenges along the way, because as you can imagine, if you are walking the journey for the first time, there's a lot of pitfalls, that you can fall into. So collaboration, it really helps, with regards to those lessons learned, and just to avoid challenges in general.
My name is Andrew Ranger. I'm the Director of Economic Regulations at the Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority in Malawi. Basically, the mobile phone data is a terminology or the concept that we have been hearing for some time now. And back home, I can say that we have had independent organization approaching MACRA, that's the regulator, because we have the Data Protection Authority now, which is housed within MACRA, and they're understanding the whole concept of using mobile data for policy issues, for relevant interventions. Especially, we had the cyclone some 2 years ago, and they wanted to use that information. They wanted to see the movement of people, and they wanted to find a quick way of how to use that information. And they wanted to approach us because we regulate the mobile network operators, and they wanted us how we can approach the MNOs to use their data for us to come up with, for them to do that kind of research, gather statistics, gather information that should assist in the relevant interventions, how we can approach government, how government can come with those kind of interventions to assist in the whole sector and the whole intervention of that. Mobile phone data is vast. I think we have been talking about big data. How can we use that information? We're looking at Malawi is a low-income country. There are so many interventions that government is undertaking, from the social cash transfers, where they're identifying people who are vulnerable, who are poor, to be giving them those monthly interventions and use of mobile money. And by using the mobile phone data, that's one of the key areas that they can do. We have partners who came approach us. They want to look into how they can use mobile data for health-related research. So you can see that it's all wide range of scope, all the economic sectors in the country that mobile data can be useful for a country like Malawi. Yeah. So from the police intervention, and to say the truth, government in our countries, or most of our countries in the SADC region, governments are the main users of this data, from social protection interventions, social cash transfer, these health issues, agriculture, health, mining. We really need to have government to take lead, which is driven at SADC level by the heads of state and the ministers who make this policy directive. And we really, and coming of the World Bank and other institutions who are, what we have just heard about the seed fund that is available now, is how to bring all the players in one picture. Here we are only the regulators, the ministry, which is good because they'll be the ones to drive the policy, and looking at NSOs, who are the holders of statistics, and the MNOs. It's good that all the ecosystem is going at the same time, because we have had challenges, like I've indicated, that institutions or organizations have approached the regulator because of the data protection aspect, and to bring the MNOs on board.
I'm Imang Khadisi. I'm the Director, Legal and Board Secretary, Statistics Botswana. As you know, generally, Statistics Act provides for, production of statistics. It provides for aggregation and anonymization of data. So when you look at it holistically, issues of data protection are already catered for. But now when you are looking at mobile positioning data, you have a lot of insecurities, especially, if I tell you that I'm going to be using your mobile positioning data, I'm going to be tracking your movements with your phone, you get to wonder, okay, what else what are they going to do So then there is need to have a lot of dialogue, involve all the relevant stakeholders, and ensure that all the regulatory, all the legislative frameworks are complied with. And that is how we then got to talk specifically about data protection. And as I mentioned earlier on, we had the Data Protection Act of 2018, and later it was amended to ensure that it's complied and with the UN standard, DG General Practice on Data Protection Regulations. So it was amended to ensure compliance with that in 2020 and 2024. It was ascended to and became operational in January this year. So it basically puts the mobile positioning data that is the subject of this conference under the protection of the Data Protection Commission. So then it means then in dealing and in processing this data, you have to comply with the Data Protection Act, which then now means that we have to look at the provisions of the Data Protection Act and we see where we fall in, or the provisions that allow us or enable us to be able to harness this data. There's a provision for the archiving and research and statistical processing of this data, which then enables the processing of this data under the Statistics Act. And then, ensuring confidentiality and personal protections of the subjects. The importance of the regulatory framework comes here. Mostly is stakeholder protection. You want to make sure that the public, who are the subjects, data subjects, are protected. And it's also confidence, stakeholder confidence. If they are able to see a robust, a proper regulatory framework, they have confidence in the system and they know that their rights are being protected. And they then trust that they can give what is being requested of them, and that if there is infringement of their rights, then they have recourse. So that is the importance of a regulatory framework. So we have done that, and now what we have done, we have engaged the mobile operators, we have involved the regulator, we have been in consultation, in conversation with them, with the technical support of the World Bank, with the technical support of the global partnerships. We are now at the process where there is understanding and consensus. Initially, like earlier on when I talked, I said there's protectionism with the data that we consider to be our property, being the mobile operators. That's to ensure that the competitors don't have access to their property, being the data. So there's that protectionism. Also, there was insecurity on issues of privacy. So the conversations that we've had with them, the consultations that we've had with them, have enabled a level of understanding where they're actually willing to share the data that they have. We are at the process of concluding the MOU between the Statistics Botswana, between BOCRA, between the 3 mobile operators, as well as the Data Protection Commission. Each of the 6 parties having obligations to ensure that there is overall protection of the individual subjects of the data. So that's where we are at. And once it's concluded, we are going to also take it a step further and ensure that there is the conclusion and execution of data sharing agreements, where now we'll go to the nitty-gritties. We talk about the type of data, the format, the retention period, the storage capacities and things like that, access by all the other parties, and ensuring that each one of us know exactly what is expected of them. The financial obligations we know, the amount of
My name is Malebo
capacity building.
I'm from Botswana Telecommunication Corporation, which is an MNO in Botswana. My role, I'm the senior head of research and big data and analytics. The mobile positioning data is very key for MNOs. we are also keen on the information that will be collected through the MPD. We use specific data for planning and forecasting purposes. So we believe by participating and supporting the MPD initiative, will also benefit as MNOs in terms of that data that will be collected as a collaborative. The other incentives is that through participating in the MPD, there's going to be a lot of capacity building that is going to come through the project. So the MNOs also benefit in terms of enhancing skills for data scientists, for the technical teams such as data engineers. So we'll benefit as MNOs from this project in terms of capacity building and enhancing the skills across the country. I believe if all the SADC countries participate and collaborate on the MPD, we'll be supporting the SADC statistical protocol, which I will share that Botswana has already signed the protocol. So we're actually also supporting the regional collaboration. So I believe if all SADC member states participate through the initiative, we'll be building, I would say, a regional ambition as well. And then we will actually enhance the capacity within the region in terms of becoming digitally enablers for our specific country, but for the region as well. What we am hoping that we achieve as a collaborative from Botswana and then as an MNO is to benchmark basically into what other countries have done around the MPD, and also to tap into expertise from the World Bank, SADC as well, and to network with other colleagues so that we can share future challenges, we can share future initiatives and what they are doing around that space that I believe Botswana can also benefit from, and us as MNOs, we can also benefit from.